It seems like that we are almost ready, and looking at the civilizations, we are having JSS, Earth as Zeus, then T2 is Oranos, of course, as you would expect, and Count is Oranos. That's unexpected to me, because he usually plays another Zeus, so it's going to be double Zeus, or rather double God damn it, double Oranos and Zeus, and against them J4 Thor, your boy Loki, and Chelty Oranos. So double Norse together with Oranos. Seeing how JSS are having just one Zeus, I don't really think that dots are going to be losing this map all that easily because of the just one Zeus. With double Zeus, it's going to be, or rather, it will be pretty hard for them. But it isn't right about now. Let's see if they can maybe pull something off. I would definitely wouldn't be putting it above them. There could be some kind of plan, like maybe go some land harassing or some such with the double Norse and the Oranos. That's definitely a possibility. But since we are looking right now at Earth, who is building a dock at a pretty good position, it seems like that so far the starting is going to be reasonably standard as would be expected. Just two piggies, so he definitely needs to find something else, but so far he's not really having any kind of luck. J4 is sending 3 ones, maybe something like 11, and here's the first piggy, but it seems like that it's going to be a bit too slow for green, because he's already running out of the one piggy right next to his town center, and might be even forced to go for the chickens. But yet another interesting thing is that he's actually gathering from stragglers, which is basically signaling that he's going to go for the very fast advance into the next age. Right now going for the storehouse. I was kind of hoping for a bit different build-up, but it's going to be a bit more standard right about now. So let's see around the game how the players are doing. So far T2 has also placed the rock in a pretty good position, the same as his ally at the bottom, Earth, and well, yeah, it seems to be that it's going to be pretty happy about this position, with another 3 zombie in the darkness, but just one already being seen. Otherwise, he's already on the chickens, even though he sees the pores, and since he's Atlantean and has double right now, he could definitely go for them, but he probably doesn't want to waste any time walking around here, so that's exactly what he's going to be continuing with the chickens, and once he finishes, he's probably going to be switching into them, I would be thinking, as it would be a bit of a waste to go for the piggies. The last I have a look at from JSS is going to be Count von Count, who is already having the manor as well, and he is going for the boars, so that's going to be slightly more efficient for him. You can see that he has even left the piggy, but that probably was because I would be expecting switching into the straggler, not really going for the hunt, or rather from the hunt. So yeah, not really anything unusual. It is in position for a dock as well, it seems like, so you should be pretty much happy with how it's going to look from now on, and we are going to be switching into the opponents. For example, the first one is going to be J4. He's playing basically the standard build-up with the gold mine, not really using the piggies so far, as he's just fine with the ones next to his town center that are basically herdables, and he's going to be helped by Shelty a bit. It seems like that those piggies are going exactly to the town center, especially with the others going there as well, and the temple being dropped just about now. That's a decent upgrade time, to be honest, something like 430. Not really bad at all, as his first dock is in a decent position. You can see that he's going to be scouted by Count pretty soon. Second Oracle and third one also, so all 3 are pretty much the same position. With a relic for better Archer, Troll and Centaur's Wood Ghost. That's a pretty nice one, and especially could be useful for Deities of Death because of the Loki that they are having. Otherwise, the pocket for Deities of Death is going to be Shelty. The Oranos, that's not really ideal. I would be thinking that it would be slightly better to have either Thor or Loki in the pocket. Maybe Thor for some kind of fast Ragnarok or something, but he isn't, and he has just dropped the temple, and he's going to be advancing into the next age just as the villager is going to be finished. Going to be slightly above 430. Bit of food at the back, and looking at the positioning of the TCs, this could actually be an unusual spawn. So far in this season we have seen a lot of spawns of town centers being all in the water range, but this time it's looking like that there are actually not going to be all that many town centers in the water range, which is definitely a pretty big bonus for the clan that is going to be losing the water, of course. This is close, but not in range. Maybe with some Oxy Juggernauts or something, but I don't think so. That looks quite far away, and it's going to be pretty much similar in here, even though this is slightly closer. But still, pretty far away, so I don't really expect that could be the case. The last one to have a look at is going to be Killer Boy as a Loki, who is already through for city, almost, so that's pretty decent upgrade time for him. Second dock in a pretty good position. The first one wasn't really ideal, but look at how his opponent Earth has built the dock in the middle, and the second one was a bit more into the defensive, not really into the offensive. This is really a weird placement, to be honest. Would expect that it would be slightly better to build the dock a bit more into the offensive, looking how they should be the one with the pressure. It will definitely allow Killer Boy to gather some extra fishing spots in here and hopefully be a bit more effective in gathering the fishies than their opponents. So he's going already for a bit more harassment into the opponent's side, trying to find the dock, as he is already through Earth. He has gone through, of course, through Restoration. And looking on the water, there is already going to be a bit of an engagement at the top between J4 and Count. And since the boats from the blue player are a whole lot stronger, of course, having more hit points and also attack, it's not going to be all that hard for him to win the battles, and I don't really think that he needs to retreat all that much, but right now, with the reinforcements from T2, he definitely has. A bit of a problem could be for him the fact that JSS have actually faster boats, so they might be able to maneuver a bit better, and maybe somehow counter their opponent, but yet again, the Atlantean boats are kinda weak, and if you are able to amass enough boats exactly like J4 is right now attempting to do, it might just be good enough for him to stand ground somewhere and basically put the armada of his opponent out of commission quite easily. You can see it's going to be pretty much a triple on this point of the map, as Killer Boy is also arriving from the bottom. That's definitely pretty nice maneuvering right now from the Decisive of Death. And JSS, they are not really picking up on this. You can see that Earth didn't really see it all that much. He's going from the bottom just yet, and Killer Boy is actually quite nicely kiting him all around. You can see that Earth is not paying any attention at all, like any attention at all, because he's probably just interested in microing his own base. You can see that the Heresier died, but also the Minotaur, and still the Troll is very much alive, which is a bit of a problem, as the gold villagers might be in danger in here. So Killer Boy with those two guys has found something to kill in there, probably not for much longer, as Earth is probably going to be killing it sometime soon. But looking at the minimap, he seems to be aiming exactly into the battlefield in here, and it's almost looking like that actually JSS are going to be waiting for a position for restoration. Whose was actually the Shockwave, not exactly sure, maybe both of them. And yeah, the J4 is right now saying that they should be leaving the water, and I'm kind of expecting that that would be the clever decision, because right now there are all three JSS at one space, and this is basically restoration bait right there. So they are going to be switching into land. Let's see how fast they can be. As trading from Killer Boy didn't really do all that much, as I don't even see the troll anymore. He has been killed by Jason, as Killer Boy wasn't paying enough attention, and there's going to be a bit of radiant still from Killer Boy, and maybe even J4 and the yellow player. You can see that he's right now at the bottom, so they are going to be just trying to make their opponents to overcommit, and also try to make their economy as low as possible, so that they have some kind of chance of going into the offensive sometime soon. So yep, this is going to be a pretty easy victory for JSS right about now, it seems. Shouldn't be all that tough. And interesting on the land, of course, Shelty is going for a second TC, but same is true for the opponent in the pocket, for State T2. So he's definitely not going to be left behind all that much, and we are seeing 30 TC from Shelty. Yeah, so this is looking like a pretty strong economy coming up for the Decisive of Death, with another TC being captured at the bottom by Killer Boy. This position is going to be pretty important because it captures also gold times 1 and 2. And that's a lot of extra gold mines for him, and he's going to be very close to opposing town center, which is not going to be guarded all that much, it seems. And since the Norse are much more versatile in the movement and such, they are definitely going to be having a bit more of a chance of doing something substantial about preventing the TC from coming up. So Earth is basically going to be popping up with Killer Boy's economy on the water. Whereas Yellow is still very much alive, but not really for much longer, as Red is retreating back to the bottom and is going to be killing him together with the help from T2. Second TC, or rather third TC, is also being captured by T2 himself, so he's going to be basically the same as his opponent, but there has been a bit of a raiding, and quite nice one, by J4 through the Valkyrie that he's still having, and that's a pretty big problem right now for T2, because he doesn't have anything to protect the villages in here, and that's the reason why this one is hidden. It's not built in the TC, so that's very nicely played by J4, and definitely quite nice bonus for his team. At the same time, there is already a bit of an attack by Red on the opposition of the blue player. You can see that he's having a lot of idols in here, Quite unfortunate for him, and he really needs to be careful about this, because it seems like that he wasn't counting with any kind of attack like that. He was going for a second TC in the meantime, having all the army in here. That is basically all he has. A few throwing axemen and the Hersiers. And this is a very nice reaction right now by JSS, because they probably recognized what the plan from Deities of Death is going to be, and they are trying to make sure that it's not going to work out all that much. Shelty though is arriving on the battlefield and is going to be probably serving as some kind of meat shield from his ally to finish the TC, and once that happens, if it can happen, I'm positive that it actually can if Shelty is careful enough. Oh, this could be painful, because those guys literally have nowhere to run. They can just go somewhere to the back in here, but there's only more villagers, and since the TC is yeah, and in pretty deep troubles right about now, it's not going to be all that easy if Shelty doesn't play this well. So far he seems to be exactly on time. As there's also a bit of a battle at the bottom, so is the Oxcar going to be coming down? Well, it's not really mattering all that much as the TC is up, but looking at the bottom battlefield, as there was, or rather is, a pretty strong battle right now happening, with Earth trying to take down the TC, he's definitely going to be successful. And I'm thinking that he still even has restoration. Yeah, he definitely has. So this is really so well played by JSS, to be honest, and I didn't expect this all that much. I was maybe expecting that they are going to be overcommitting through water a bit, but they have played this map so many times and they definitely know what they're doing, and this is a pretty huge problem, as even though the Bragi is going to be finished and there are some extra towers, they are in pretty bad positions. Only this one is going to be shooting at the units, and with the restoration still in place, wow, 17 hoplites. I'm fairly certain that all those hoplites, especially when they are already medium, are well capable of taking down the TC, basically putting Killer Boy out of the game altogether, because even though he's still having one TC at the back, this is going to be such a huge blow to his economy, and basically full map control, because we have said a bit earlier how much gold there is at the bottom. This is probably going to be resulting in restoration. Maybe. Yeah. It looked like a pretty good opportunity for that. And this is nicely played. But unfortunately, I don't expect that this is going to be enough, because you can see that the hoplites of Zeus are having pretty nice attack bonus, and even with some of the villages being transformed into Ulfsarks and even flaming weapons being cast, yep, Killer Boy is down to 1 TC, and this was very well played and definitely very nicely done by JSS, and this is going to put Deities of Death back quite a lot, and even might be able to kill some extra villages on their way home. But probably he's going to be attempting to somehow run away, as this wouldn't be a good fight for him. Even though the units are not really numerous, it's still flaming weapons and all the extra attack. Yeah, this is definitely helpful, the least they could do. And looking at the battle at the top, there is forest fire being cast, but yeah, right now it seems like there is not going to be all that much help to Deities of Death. And JSS are taking a bit more northward battlefield, and it's looking like that Titu is finally joining in the battle as well. He has already established himself right next to the front TC of actually J4. This is J4's front TC, because the front for the red player is already taken. And looking at the battle in here is definitely not looking all that great for Deities of Death, and it almost seems like that this might be even a shorter game than we maybe might have expected, as we are at 13 minutes. And the battle at the bottom was quite strongly going for Earth, and at the top it's not all that strongly going for them, but they are still in the TC, as you can see by Titu. And that's a problem by itself, pretty big one. And you can see that at the bottom, basically the same is attempted by Earth, who is at least trying to force Killer Boy to forget about the TC in the front, as he's trying to rebuild one inside his base, already gathering at least the boars and some kind of army. And looking somewhere else, are we going to be seeing... Oh yeah, there, yeah, Heroic Age from Shelty, and that should be pretty much it, as I don't expect Bragi from J4 yet. Yeah, because he's having all his hands full with basically all the military, just throwing axemen, not any mediums and such. And otherwise, we are seeing, for example, medium Murmilos from Titu. That's definitely going to be making a difference in here. And this is also interesting to notice that Shelty is having just Turmas. You can see that he's having absolutely nothing else so far. And he's hoping that basically all the counters to the other units, like the Murmilos, are going to be supplied by J4. Like the throwing axemen, and that seems to be exactly what they are going for right now. So double Heroic Age from the Oranosis, and oh, A bit of a tower spam. Oh, isn't that nice? That's a pretty nice idea because it's blocking this gold from J4 and of course going to give them some extra chance to fall back to some kind of defensive position if they find themselves in a tough situation against their opponents. We have also seen the Heroic Age from Earth. Is he attempting to maybe jump into Mythic? Let's see. Don't see the market, so probably not. Seems like that it's going to be pretty much standard, but those 3 military academies in here, yeah, this is kind of telling you what is going to happen pretty soon. On the water, there's not much coming back. As you can see that right now, Count is hoping for extra population to be in at 40C, so he doesn't really need it. He's also having boats a bit at the top, and it's looking like that Earth is right now basically keeping his opponent Killer Boy in check and hoping that his allies at the top are going to be a bit more successful than him. Well, he already was successful with the DCs there, but hoping that the double Uranus at the top is going to be enough to kill the Thor and Uranus themselves. So let's see. Medium throwing Axeman finally. Some extra upgrades. So far I don't see anything. For the Decisive Death side, for JSS we are seeing Copper Shield, so that's going to be making a lot of difference. And for the Teal player, a whole baseline. Well, that's not half bad. And those are going to be making a whole lot of difference in here, because obviously, once you are facing basically the same units with the upgrades, yeah, the battle is going to go just one way altogether. We have heard a lot of boats getting killed by Tito, or rather deleted. And the towers are definitely a pretty nice idea with all the military buildings from the red and teal, and also the palace. And finally, destroyers coming in as well, and they are going to be basically the biggest problem right now for the Teeth of Death. As Shelty is just switching into Archive, a bit of Murmills right now coming in, and Shelty going for Helios, but with the Vortex, I don't really think it's going to be all that effective. But maybe he's going for some fast Titan, I'm not exactly sure, but he still could be strong enough to maybe help at the bottom if it's needed. Right now, let's have a quick look at there. As the 30C has been captured by Earth, but the front one is also being attempted by Killer Boy yet again, and it seems like this army is strong enough from Earth actually to take a peek at these. But, well, probably not all that much right about now. So Hera from Earth, that's definitely quite interesting and unusual. Usually see for the Colossi and Hephaestus and Watch of Olympus, of course, but right now he definitely doesn't think that it's needing it, and he's basically waiting for some clever usage of the Lightning Storm. He's maybe hoping to use it against Ragnarok, where it is actually pretty useful. And maybe he could just use it now, because he will be killing basically the whole army from both Shelty and his ally J4, and also a whole lot of villages from him. So I'm thinking this wouldn't be a half bad idea to cast it right about now, because at this stage, I don't really expect that J4 could be prepared for any kind of significant Ragnarok anytime soon. So Mason's not going to be coming up, as this is going down quite a lot faster. And it seems like that a few towers are still alive, but not really for much longer. Dwarven Armory up. So it's looking like J4 was going for a bit more of a heroic age in just a moment, but unfortunately it wasn't enough, as the TC was already being captured by Count von Count, and since at the bottom the battle was going to be very, very hard for Killer Boy against Mythical Zeus, of course, with Lightning Storm. Yeah, they just decided to call it a game, and quite nicely played by JSS, really very commandingly played, and they definitely knew what they were doing, and this was slightly different, to be honest from them, from the previous seasons that I remember, and this was very nice strategy and very, very smooth switch into the land, and actually very fast one. It's going to be very tough for any of their opponents to actually overcome this. Was nicely played indeed, and they knew what they were doing with Count switching into Uranus from Zeus. So nicely played, and this is going to be 1-0. So let's check the post game with Tito right now being the MVP in the pocket. Well, he was playing quite nicely, but I would say actually that both of these flanks were playing quite well indeed, maybe even better than him. But overall, this was really nice team play by JSS. But DT, so that definitely did give it quite nice try, but they were taken aback quite strongly. It was just evident in the game that they were hoping they will be the first ones into the land battles, but they weren't by quite some margin. Even though they really tried quite nicely. It wasn't half bad from them. But this is going to be their home map now, and let's see what kind of strategy they have prepared. As we have seen in the first round against Keen, that they definitely are capable of taking down even teams that you wouldn't really expect, especially on the maps that you wouldn't expect it on. Yeah, quite decent military from JSS basically the whole game, and they didn't let on at all. Well, nicely played, GG.